Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvikam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitamscha. He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhyeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Pristhaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Desasarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Thank you everyone for coming today. Today's verse is chapter 1 text 2. So the verse is not working. So let's go to I think you have to take out your book. So yeah, but it's changed version, so I don't want to display that as much as possible. This is PrabhupadaBooks.com, which is the original Prabhupada books. But there's a lag here, but I think we'll just go on like this. You can take out on your devices. Text, chapter 1, text 2. Now it's up. Okay, it's up. This is actually the Veda-based software is also changed version, but we don't have anything better than this for the fastest streaming experience. So, yeah. Chapter 1, text 2. Sanjaya Uvacha Drishtva Tu Pandavanikam Vyudham Duryodhana. It's actually Duryodhana. So when it is joined with the next word, tada. So the H becomes S. It's sandhi. It is called sandhi technically. Sandhi means joint. Two words when they join, it becomes like that. So that's why the original word is Duryodhana. So Duryodhana tada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Sanjay uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Not put on the floor. The kartals. Yeah. Sanjay uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Sanjay uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Sanjay uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Sanjay uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Mataji. Sanjay uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Sanjay uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Sanjay uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Sanjay uvacha drishtva tu pandavanikam vyudham duryodhanastada acharyam upasangamya raja vachanam abravit. Chant the word to word. Sanjaya Uvacha. Sanjaya said, Drishtva, after seeing, two, but Pandava Anikam, the soldiers of the Pandavas, Vyudham, arranged in a military phalanx, Duryodhana, King Duryodhana, Tada, at that time, Acharyam, the teacher, Upasangamya, approaching, Raja, the king, Vachanam, words, Abravit, spoke. Translation and purport by Divine Grace Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Translation: Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Please repeat. Sanjaya said, O king, after looking over the army arranged in military formation by the sons of Pandu, King Duryodhana went to his teacher and spoke the following words. Purport. Dhritarashtra was blind from birth. Unfortunately, he was also bereft of spiritual vision. He knew very well that his sons were equally blind in the matter of religion, and he was sure that they could never reach an understanding with the Pandavas, who were all pious since birth. Still, he was doubtful about the influence of the place of pilgrimage, and Sanjaya could understand his motive in asking about the situation on the battlefield. Sanjaya wanted, therefore, to encourage the despondent king and thus assured him that his sons were not going to make any sort of compromise under the influence of the holy place. Sanjaya therefore informed the king that his son Duryodhana, after seeing the military force of the Pandavas, at once went to the commander-in-chief, Dronacharya, to inform him of the real position. Although Duryodhana is mentioned as the king, he still had to go to the commander on account of the seriousness of the situation. He was therefore quite fit to be a politician. But Duryodhana's diplomatic veneer could not disguise the fear he felt when he saw the military arrangement of the Pandavas. So this is the second verse of the Bhagavad Gita. So the whole chapter is, not the whole chapter, in the beginning, it's all about how the armies were arranged. So the first question, the first verse of the Bhagavad Gita starts where we have discussed on Sunday evening class, Bhagavad Gita class, that Dhritarashtra was asking Sanjaya about the situation on the battlefield. And Sanjaya, being a disciple of Srila Vyasadeva, by his mercy he could see from this palace all the way what is happening in the battlefield through the vision from the heart. Now, in India there is a national channel, Doordarshan, means seeing from far, broadcast, telecast. So, that, now of course we are also doing Facebook Live, it's also Doordarshan. But in those days they did not depend on this equipment. So that was such yogic power. So Sanjaya could relate what was going on, and he was giving running commentary basically. Therefore Dhritarashtra, being blind, he asked Sanjaya what was going on. Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre, in the first verse of we see, Dharmakshetre Kurukshetre Samaveta Yuyutsavaha Mamaka Pandavascheva Kim Akurvata Sanjaya. The first verse actually basically sets the stage for the whole Bhagavad Gita, as we have discussed on Sunday. So he says, Mamaka Pandavascheva. See, Dhritarashtra, what is asking? In the holy place, Dharmakshetra, called Kurukshetra, Samaveta means assembled. Yuyutsavaha, for fighting, for war. Mamakaha Pandavascha. Mamaka means my sons and Pandavas, the sons of my brother Pandu. They have assembled. So what they did after that? Of course, everybody knew they assembled for war and they were going to fight. So, but still, he was asking this because he thought holy place. So maybe because of the influence of the holy place, my sons who are always, on the path of irreligion, may desist from fighting. This is the weakness of Dhritarashtra. He knew very well his sons were very much on the path of adharma. And he knew Pandavas were on the path of dharma. Still he was attached. Actually there is a verse in the Bhagavatam or Mahabharata where Dhritarashtra says, I know Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. I know the Pandavas are righteous, they are pure devotees of Krishna. And I know my sons are against religion, against the principles of dharma. And unlawfully they are occupying the land. I know everything. But still somehow I cannot give up my attachment for my sons. What does that mean? It is only Krishna's arrangement that the whole thing has happened. See, even to be a demon in the Leela of Krishna is not a small thing. We of course talk of Hiranyakashipu and Ravana as rascals, But at least they saw Krishna. Of course, it is not encouraged to be a Ravana or a Hiranyakashipu. That's why Bhaktivinoda Thakur, in his humility, said, Asura Sakalo Kailo Charana, Vinoda Thakilo Bosi. He sang a very nice song. So in that last verse of the song, he said, Asura Sakalo Kailo Charana. All the Asuras, we say this guy is Asura, the big Asura, the biggest Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksha, Ravana, Kumbhakarna, all Asuras, rascals. But they have all attained the lotus feet of Krishna already. But this Bhaktivinoda is still rotting in this material world. He is writing like that. So he is taking our position. We talk of this person as demon, that person as demon. Who are we? If we are not demon, we will not be sitting in this material world. At least they have attained the lotus feet of the Lord already by being killed by Krishna. We are still sitting. So this is the case. So Dhritarashtra also, see all the thing, everybody assembled there are not ordinary people actually. In fact, there is one verse saying that the Kauravas are more fortunate than the Pandavas. Because in the battlefield, the Kauravas could see the face of Krishna. As the Pandavas were seeing either side or back of Krishna. Of course, there is no difference between back and front of Krishna. That's why Bhishma Dev, he is a Mahajan, very great devotee. One of the 12 authorities on devotional service. But he stood on the other side because he wanted to see the face of Krishna. Of course, the thing is that he was, on the wrong party, eating the food from the wrong place. That is all the build-up for the whole war. But in his original position, devotional service of Krishna, Bhishmadeva was not an ordinary person. So, why is he supporting the other side then? Because his relationship with the Lord was of chivalry. Chivalry means, to get excited when there is a fight. That's called chivalry. Kshatriyas have that spirit. If they see blood, if they smell blood, then the adrenaline will come. Whereas a Brahmana, if he smells blood, he will faint. Shudra, if blood means he will run away first. But Kshatriyas, when they smell blood, means the adrenaline goes up. They want to fight, they are ready to fight. It's like an encouragement for them. So even when they are slashed, it is more of an impetus for them to fight. Like you see the war in the Kurukshetra. Arjuna's son died, Abhimanyu. So when Arjuna saw that, of course he was despondent for a moment. But then he became so angry and so full of vigor to fight that next day he finished one whole phalanx of army. One whole Akshavani he finished. One Akshavani is, Kauravas had 11 Akshavanis of army and Pandavas only had 7 Akshavanis of army. One Akshavani means about 109,000 foot soldiers and 65,536 horses. Same number of chariots drawn by horses. same number of elephants, each with a person mahout on the top. And war elephants, not ordinary elephants who eat sugar cane. The war elephants meant to destroy. If somebody attacks him, they just pounce on the person, finish him. Training for war. So, that kind of 11 Akshavanis, Kaurava's army, that one day Arjuna finished single-handedly with his own arrows, one Akshavani. The day after Abhimanyu died. Until at the end of the day he killed Jayadratha. He kept his promise. So, Kshatriyas are like that spirit. Tejo Shauryam. Shauryam means heroism. Kshatriya means not simply family. Nowadays Kshatriya family is there, but there is no qualities of Kshatriya. You hurt means he will run away. Not that kind of Kshatriya. We are talking about Shauryam Tejo Dhritir Dakshyam Yuddhe Chapya Apalayanam Dhanam Ishvara Bhavascha Kshatram Karma Svabhavajam. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle. Yuddhe Chapya Apalayanam. Actually here it is mentioned courage in battle. Apalayanam means never turn their back. They never turn their back on the battlefield. Either you face and die or you win. That's it. There is no turning back. Turning back means even the women in the palace, suppose he turns back and go to the palace, the woman will chastise, the woman will laugh at him. No woman will respect such a Kshatriya, even in the palace. Even the maids will laugh at him. Maid servants, they will laugh at him. That was Kshatriya spirit. The women also are like that. They don't want a man who is, like a sissy. So Kshatriya's whole spirit is like that. Courage in battle, generosity. They're also not simply, fighting. They're also generous to the Brahmanas. They're obedient to Brahmanas. Leadership are the natural qualities of work for the Kshatriyas. Okay? So, Bhishmadev's relationship, of course this is about Kshatriya, but Bhishmadev's relationship with Krishna was of chivalry. He used to fight with Krishna, and when, it is described in the Bhagavatam that when Bhishmadev was shooting arrows at Krishna and Krishna's body was being pierced and blood was flowing out, and Bhishmadev relished that. For him, he was like putting garlands on Krishna. And Krishna also was pleased. No, because when he took up the wheel, it is mentioned. Because he took up a weapon. Actually, at that time he stopped.
There was a challenge made by Bhishma.
Yes.
There is that I will ensure Krishna whips the weapon and then fight it. This happens when Bhishma started putting the arrows to Arjuna. Arjuna being a strong disciple to Lord Krishna. Krishna says that my devotee is having a problem, now I need to stand up. That's why he actually comes from the
Actually, there is a much deeper significance to that Leela.
Yeah.
The significance is that Krishna wants to make a very important point there. In 9th chapter, 31st verse. See this. This is 9:31. Shipram bhavati dharmatma shashvachantim nigacchati kaunteya pratijanehi name bhakta pranashati. Krishna is saying, the previous verse he says, even if somebody is sinful, if he takes to my devotional service, he will become purified. And he's saying, continuing on, he's saying, he quickly becomes righteous and attains lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. So he's asking Arjuna to give a promise, to declare to the world that my devotee will never perish. Why he asked Arjuna to give that promise? Because Arjuna was his devotee. Krishna might sometimes even break his own promise, but his devotee's promise he will never break it. So this Leela where Bhishmadev was there, that is actually signifying that. Because because Krishna's promise in the war, before the war, was that he would not fight, he would not take a weapon. But then Bhishmadev was, insulted. Bhishmadev was insulted by Duryodhana, saying, grandfather, what arrows you are shooting? Nobody is dying on the other side. No Pandavas, all 5 Pandavas are still alive. What you are shooting? There is Parshuram also was defeated by you. Huh? Your own Guru Parshuram was defeated by you. Huh? Who is avatar of Vishnu. And you can't even kill 5 Pandavas who are your grandsons. What arrows you are shooting? Simply you are showing partiality to them. Because you like them. Then Vishnu was incensed. He said, alright. The day was already finished. Then he chanted a mantra, 5 arrows. With these 5 arrows tomorrow I will kill 5 Pandavas. Then Duryodhana immediately said, give me those 5 arrows, sir, because you might forget tomorrow where you kept these 5 arrows. You give me. I will give you tomorrow morning and I will make sure you kill them. So he took and kept with him in the night. So the story goes that, see, in the Kshatriya spirit, morning they were fighting. From sunrise to sunset they were fighting. After sunset, that man can come in this camp, this man can go to that camp without a problem. So Krishna knew what happened, Paramatma. He knew what happened in this side. So on the other side, Krishna told Arjuna, you remember when you were in Ganvas, in the forest, the Gandharvas came to attack Duryodhana. Because Duryodhana wanted to tease the Pandavas. He sent Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni came to the Kauravas palace. And they treated him nicely and, with his 60,000 disciples, everybody was royally fed. Then, in feigned humility and concern, Duryodhana asked, my dear Durvasa Muni, you have blessed us with your presence. Our poor cousins Pandavas are suffering in exile in the forest. Please bless them also. Then Durvasa Muni said, all right, I will go. Where are they? Oh, that forest. Okay. And he went with the 60,000 disciples. 60,000? 10,000. 10,000. Actually, Duryodhana's intention was not good. Because Durvasa Muni is known for getting angry very easily. If he is not served properly, he will get angry very easily. But if he is served properly, he will get boon also very easily. So he humbly presented it, but actually when Durvasa Muni left, he said, Pandavas are finished. They are in the forest, what they are going to serve these 10,000 people? Let's see. Finished. Already they are suffering exile. Durvasa Muni will further curse them and they will never see daylight. They will never come to rule again. But with Durvasa Muni, please bless them also. Feigned humility. Durvasa Muni went and the story of Akshapatra. So the sun god, Surya, he gave one pot, Akshapatra, to the Pandavas. This pot was that Akshay means unending. You can bring out as many dishes as you want from this pot. Whatever you want, you can bring out. The kind of magical pot. But until Draupadi eats from the pot on that day. If Draupadi, the wife of the Pandavas, she eats, the pot will not produce any more food for that day. And again next day only. So they all just finished their lunch. At that time Durvasa Muni came. Then he asked, I came just with my 10,000 disciples. I'll just take a bath in the river and I will come for lunch. Yudhishthira Maharaj said, alright, please go. Then he was confused, perplexed, what to do now. Durvasa Muni is here and we cannot serve him. Then actually he was not worried. He thought, alright, Draupadi, please bring the Akshapatra and prepare for 10,000 people. But Draupadi said, how can I do that? I already ate. Then they all were perplexed. What to do? Then they prayed to Krishna. Krishna, only you can help. Then Krishna immediately appeared. From Dwaraka, he appeared just like that in the forest. And then he took the pot. He asked Draupadi, give me the pot. So he took the pot. Then he saw there was one shark, shark? Yeah. Green leaf, spinach. One leaf of spinach was stuck to the pot. Then he took that and ate. And when he ate, Durvasa Muni along with 10,000 disciples all felt full in the river. Suddenly, what is this? We are feeling full. And Durvasa Muni, he had already a previous experience. Although he easily curses everybody, but then he burnt his finger once because he tried with Ambarish Maharaj, same thing, millions of years ago. With Ambarish Maharaj, he tried the same thing. Ekadasi, the next day Dvadasi, the breakfast, for the breaking fast of eating grains, there is a particular time limit. Within that window of time, you must eat grains. So the time was finishing. No, actually, he came just while about to. Ambarish Maharaj was about to break his fast. Durvasa Muni came. And Durvasa Muni said, take bath and come. Same. So he went, but he did not come. Delayed. Until the time was going to be almost. Then finally, when the last few minutes left, Ambarish Maharaj asked the Brahmins, what should I do? Guest I cannot eat before the guest. At the same time, time is becoming, it is becoming late. So Brahmana said, you do one thing, you drink some water. Because water means it is considered breaking the fast and not breaking the fast also. You just take some water. So just as he was putting water in the mouth, Durvasa Muni entered. He looks for opportunities for this, like this, to give curse. So he came. See? Then he became very angry. What is this? What kind of a king are you? This, that. And then he pulled out one hair from his head and threw it on the ground, and a big demon came from there, fire demon. And he was trying to, Just when he did that, Sudarshan Chakra from Vaikuntha came down, chasing Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni ran. All over the universe he ran. He went to Brahmaloka. Please save me, please. Sudarshan Chakra is not my weapon. Vishnu's weapon, nobody can stop it. He ran to Shivaloka. Shiva, please save me from this Sudarshan Chakra. Sorry, I cannot do anything. Then he went to Vaikuntha. He went to Vaikuntha and saw Narayan. Fell at his feet. Your Sudarshan Chakra, please stop. I am burning from the heat. I cannot stop. Then what? How can we stop? No. You have offended my devotee. My devotees are very dear to me. I can withstand offense to myself, but to my devotees I will never withstand any offense done to them. They will have to be destroyed. If you want to be saved, then you go down back to Ambarish Maharaj. He is waiting for you there. You fall at his feet. If he agrees to forgive you, then you can be released from this burning Sudarshan. Then he immediately went and fell at the feet of Ambarish Maharaj. Ambarish Maharaj, see, 1 year, actually Durvasa Muni was running around all over the universe. His whole journey 1 year. Of course, he travelled very fast also. 1 year, Ambarish Maharaj was without eating, he was waiting. My guest hasn't eaten. 1 year, he was fasting. Then Durvasa Muni fell down at his feet. Then Ambarish Maharaj said, what are you doing? Come on, please, don't do like this, you are sadhu. He was very, very humble. He did not have any mystic power. But Krishna took care of him. So because of that experience, I better not mess around with devotees. Yudhishthira Maharaj is a very big devotee. Now my stomach is full. He must have prepared something. And if I go there and I don't eat, he will curse me. I will again be chased by Sudarshan Chakra or something. I will not go. Sorry. From the river they left. All the 10,000 disciples, everybody left. So in that way, this story goes that after that, this Kauravas, this Duryodhan, he thought that Durvasa Muni would have cursed by now. Let me go and see what the fun. What is going on with it. Then he came near to the place. Then he wanted to take bath in the lake. At that time, Gandharvas, higher than human beings. Not exactly demigods, but lesser than demigods. Gandharvas. So they were also bathing in that lake. Then he said, who are you? Get up. Then, what is this? Mere human being, you are talking like this? The Gandharvas defeated him totally. When they were going to defeat him, then Yudhishthira Maharaj came to know that they are in danger, they are nearby and they are in danger. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj, and then Bhima and Arjuna, especially Bhima, yes, this is what should happen to them. What we wanted to do, the Gandharvas are doing already. So, then Yudhishthira Maharaj said, no, you should not think like this. Whatever it is, they are our cousins. In a family, they will be fighting. But when somebody else comes and fights with the family, whole family will be united against that. Inside family they will be fighting. Some bickering is going on here and there. Something. But when somebody outside comes, then everybody becomes united. Like in India, now everybody fighting India, Hindu, Muslim, this, that. India, Pakistan, whole Indian is together. Whether Muslim or what, Indian. So like that, Yudhishthira Maharaj said, we may fight among ourselves cousins, but when somebody else is attacking, we should support them. Bhima was frustrated. What is this, my brother? Anyway, I have to obey my brother. I will go. Then Bhima and Arjuna were sent. And they defeated. Especially Arjuna, he defeated Gandhara. And that time, Duryodhana was felt very much ashamed. I have tried to harm them. That already failed. I am insulted in front of them. It's an embarrassment to the. I don't even want to go back to my kingdom. How can I show my face to anyone? Then, anyway, at that time, who was that? Duryodhana said, he sincerely felt something, he felt thankful, grateful. And please ask me any boon you want. Then Pandavas, they did not want, especially Bhima and Arjuna. We are not going to take anything from you. So, no, we don't want anything. When we need, we will ask. So Krishna reminded Arjuna of that boon. Duryodhana, you see, promised that time. He said he will give whatever he wants. Now is the time to take advantage of the boon. Go to him now. He kept 5 arrows. That 5 arrows is good. Then this Arjun went to that other camp. He eventually went, and Duryodhana received him. Oh, how are you? Then Duryodhana came. Yes, Rama. So Duryodhana came out, and Arjuna, he saw Arjuna. Oh, Arjuna, what do you want? You want your kingdom? I can give you now. Arjuna said, no. I came to know that you have kept some 5 special arrows to kill us 5 Pandavas. Duryodhana said, yes. But Arjuna said, please give them. Duryodhana immediately went inside and gave the 5 arrows. This is another thing about Kshatriya dealings. Very, very straightforward. Not that, no such thing happened.
I didn't have a promise.
No. 5 arrows? What 5 arrows? They did not do that. They were honest. You see? So honest, so starkly honest, you see. He knew these 5 arrows were meant to kill them. And he frankly asked, I came to know that 5 arrows were kept to kill us. Bhishmadev chanted some mantras on it. And they're invincible, I heard. And Duryodhana said, yes, you're right. Please give them. All right. See how straightforward. Then Duryodhana was totally devastated. How this has happened? How this has happened? So, anyway, he did not tell anything. So, next day, Bhishmadev, morning, sunrise, Bhishmadev called Duryodhana, give me those 5 arrows. Duryodhana said, no. Krishna played a trick, and Arjuna came and took all those 5. Then Bhishmadev became very angry. What is this? Oh, Krishna has already decided. Yeah, he will always protect his devotee. Anyway, my promise today is that either Krishna has to break his promise by taking up weapons, or the 5 Pandavas will not remain. Especially Arjuna, I will kill Arjuna. Or, if Arjuna has to be saved, then Krishna has to break his promise. Either my promise will stand or Krishna's promise will stand today. Like that he fought. So valiantly he fought. Arjuna's bow got broken a number of times. His chariot was broken. His horses died. Repeatedly had to change chariots and chariots. In this way, at one point, nothing, the arrow hit the helmet of Arjuna. And Krishna conducted the chariot in such a way that the chariot, actually it was aimed at Arjuna's throat. It came full speed. But Krishna was so perfect at conducting the horses in such a way that the whole chariot went down by 1 foot. And because of that, the helmet flew away. At this time, Krishna was in rage. That how dare my devotee is being attacked. Then he immediately took up a broken wheel of a broken chariot, and then charged at him, Bhishma. At that time, Bhishma left his weapons. Yes, now my desire is fulfilled. Krishna has broken his promise. So, of course, it is not that Krishna had to break his promise. No. It's not that Bhishmadev is so powerful that he can break Krishna's promise. But Krishna's willpower can be subdued by love. And Bhishma Dev is a pure devotee of Krishna actually. We can see that when after he was lying on the bed of arrows, the instructions that he gave to Yudhishthira Maharaj, voluminous instructions. And from there we can understand the character of Bhishma Dev. And even from young, his character was first class. So, Krishna will keep his devotee's promise even at the cost of his own promise.
Whole Vishnu Sahasranam came from him.
Yeah, while he was there at the time. Yes. So similarly, that's why we also accept Prabhupada. Prabhupada said, you chant 16 rounds and follow the 4 principles, you will go back to Godhead. Actually, the stipulation is not 16 rounds, it is 64 rounds. The Shastras never said 16 rounds. All the Acharyas, they all did 64 rounds a day. One round is 108 times. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. That is one mantra. 108 times is one mala. Like that 16 times we have to do every day. That is Prabhupada's stipulation. But the real stipulation is 64 rounds per day. But Srila Prabhupada said 16 rounds. So Krishna has to accept. Krishna has to accept us on the strength of Prabhupada. Not that every day I am chanting Prabhu. 16 rounds I am doing every day. I will go back to God. Yeah? No. We are at whatever advancement we are making, it's not because of our big sadhana or what. At least in my case. It is only by Prabhupada's mercy that we are advancing any little bit that we are advancing. It is only the mercy of, what is that? The Bhaktivinoda Thakur has sung. Forget the Bengali. It's a Bengali song. He wrote that, alone I find nothing of value. I forgot. So, alone I find nothing of value in me. I find nothing of value. Your mercy is my only strength. Therefore I catch hold at your lotus feet. Please save me. This is a song to the Gurudev, to the spiritual master. So this is how we should feel. We should never feel that, I am capable, I am doing big service to Krishna. What service, Millions of universes he is just breathing in and out. And we are like, in one universe there are millions and trillions of planets. In trillions of planets we have one planet. In one planet there are trillions of living entities. In those living entities we have one tiny guy somewhere in the corner, nowhere to be seen. And we can do so much devotional service that Krishna is so much satisfied with us. What service we do? So we should never feel that I am doing enough service or I am doing a lot of service. It is always inadequate. It will never be adequate. Nobody can serve Krishna adequately. So, our service to Krishna is for our own benefit. Whatever little we are doing, we should do to our best capacity. And that Krishna will see it as, Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Dvayam. Give me some fruit, water, leaf, flower. As if he's such a poor beggar that he's asking us one leaf. I'm so starving, please give me one leaf. No. Who created all the leaves? He is the one who created. Why is he asking one leaf then? It is for our benefit. If we give something to him, we will benefit. That is sacrifice. So, with whatever, of course, it doesn't mean that I have $1 million. Krishna is a patram, one leaf. But Krishna does not see what we gave him. Krishna will see how much we kept. That is what he wants to see. Our degree of surrender is how much, the proportion to how much we gave to how much we kept. And that is for a poor man who hardly earns anything, homeless person, he gives $10 to Krishna. Krishna values it as a lot. But $1 million give $10 to Krishna. Krishna will say how much of it has, how much of his wealth has he surrendered, how much of the wealth has the poor man surrendered. So you see, although the amount is the same, we think, sometimes we think, wow, you donated $5,000, But actually he had maybe $5 billion there, or 5,000 he gave. Of course, we will appreciate even if somebody gives the story where that lady was, sannyasi was begging from door to door and this lady was there and she saw at the beginning of the street when sannyasi was coming, let me teach him a lesson, what you are begging and begging. Don't earn anything by his own hard work, simply begging, and we have to work hard. We let him come here. He came, she gave respectfully, she gave like this. She gave, what she gave? Ash. From the kitchen, the wood, firewood, she brought some ash, and then respectfully, sarcastically gave. Sadhu, please take. And Sadhu saw ash. Good. You have started giving, at least. You have at least started giving. So, one day you will come to the point where you will give your whole life. At least you have started your. So, of course, the devotees will always see, oh, he has given this much. But Krishna knows how much he is actually capable of giving and how much he is only giving. So, he sees our degree of surrender. Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam sadaiva bhajami. As much as we surrender, that much he will reward. So Krishna considers his devotee very dear. So that story is very, very, very deep. Why Krishna took up the chariot wheel? It is to keep his devotee's promise. It is to keep Bhishmadev's promise. And of course protect Arjuna, but also to keep Bhishmadev's promise. Because he is my devotee. He has said something, it will never go wrong. My word can go wrong. That's why Krishna said, Arjuna, you declare boldly to the world that my devotee will never perish. I will forever take care of my devotee. If I say I may break it for some reason, you say I will never break it. So he honors the word of his devotees so much. So this war is, although it looks like some war, so much depth is there. Each of the words of Krishna, each of the actions of Krishna, full of depth. So we cannot really understand Krishna on the superficial level, simply, we don't understand. So in this verse, today's verse, Sanjay is explaining to Dhritarashtra the situation in the battlefield, encouraging him, don't worry, the influence of the holy place has not really influenced your sons, they are more of rascals than you think they are. They are not going to stop the war, they will continue, don't worry. And they are going to be destroyed in this war, don't worry. He's giving him an assurance. No, your sons are not so pious that they will stop the war because of the holy place. They will still continue. That is another feature of the demons. Demons, they come to temple also create a problem. You see? So like that, holy place, they don't see holy place should be, they still have. So, Kauravas were like that. So he is giving encouragement to Dhritarashtra. And ask why he should encourage somebody who is, such a not interested in dharma, interested in his own sons. And this is how he is building up. And finally, when the whole Mahabharata finished and all the sons died, Dhritarashtra was totally devastated. And you will see in the Bhagavatam, after the war was finished, Pandavas won the war. They came to the palace. And Dhritarashtra was staying in the same palace, eating the food cooked by the Pandavas. Vidura, the brother of Pandu and Dhritarashtra, when this war was going to start, he went away. I will go on a pilgrimage. I will go to the holy place. I don't want to see this war. I never wanted this. I always tried to, this may stop, but never stop. I am going away. I am not going to involve in either party. I am going on a pilgrimage. He went away. So he came back. After the war was finished, Pandavas were enthroned. Came back. He was stunned to see Dhritarashtra still sitting in the house. He came up to him, are you a dog or what? He said like this, are you a dog eating the remnants of the food left by the Pandavas? Whole life you schemed against them. And now they are cooking for you and you are eating their food? You have any shame or not? Simply sitting in this house. So what, you are old. Now you have, because of your attachment to your sons, you have ruined your life. Now all those sons are dead. All the 100 of them are dead. And now you alone are sitting here, what for? What are you sitting here for? Shameless, get up. Then Dhritarashtra actually left in the night without even telling the Pandavas. Because if he tells the Yudhishthira Maharaj, I am leaving for the forest, Yudhishthira Maharaj will not allow him to go. Yudhishthira Maharaj is so kind-hearted that even though his uncle fully whole life he schemed against him, still Yudhishthira Maharaj wanted to take care of him. No, how you can go away? Where you will go? In the forest you are so old, we have to take care of you. It is our duty. This is Maharaj. See, Ajata Shatru. No enemies. Even though he considered him as enemy, he will not consider him as an enemy. That is devotee, Vaishnava. So Dhritarashtra also knew. This time when Vidura spoke those strong words, Dhritarashtra was shaken from his illusion. Yes, you are right. What am I doing here? Then, in the night, without telling anyone, he and Gandhari, his wife, also left. Next day morning, they woke up, they couldn't find Dhritarashtra anywhere. Then finally, Vidura said they left. And later, with his yogic power, Dhritarashtra burned himself. He immolated his own body with just his power, yogic power. And he burned his body to ashes like that. And seeing that, Gandhari also jumped into the fire. And she also, Sati, she also killed herself. Chased wife. In this way, they passed on. There it is said that the best death is to die when no relatives are around. No relatives. If all the relatives are sitting around you when you are dying, your mind is filled with thoughts of material attachment. Oh, I am leaving. Then, full of attachment, then I will become a snake in the same house. Or some rat, or cockroach, dog, tree, some insect in the same house. That's why it is said the best death is that no relatives even know about that you died. That is the best death. The sannyasis, they live like that. If you go to the Himalayas also, of course, if you know where to go, then you will find the yogi's body is just like that, sitting. They have died long ago. Bodies are erect like that, sitting. Bones. In the meditation, they give up their bodies. So, nobody knows. Nobody even... And some animals, they just feast on the dead flesh. Finish. So, that is the most glorious death. Yeah. Nobody should know. So, like that, he died. Without anybody around. So, in this way, the good quality is that you see the Yudhishthira Maharaj, how he is, even though they did so much things, still, actually, the funny part was that after, not funny, it's the quality of a Vaishnava. The war was finished. Pandavas won, Kaura was totally decimated. The throne was entirely for the Pandavas, no competitor. Yudhishthira Maharaj was fully despondent. Yudhishthira Maharaj could not even be consoled by Krishna himself. Krishna spoke to him so much, could not console Yudhishthira Maharaj. No, I am the biggest sinner. Because of me sitting on this throne, me wanting to sit on this throne, how many people have died in this war? I am the cause of all the deaths. I think I will never go out of hell after this life. I will forever remain in the hell only. I think I deserve it. Let me go to hell. What have I done just for this seat? This throne, I have killed so many. I never even considered they are my kinsmen, they are my cousins, they are my guru, grandfather. I have never considered anything. I simply, everybody is dead now. He was so, depressed. Krishna spoke to him so much. Could not even console him. Then finally they took him to Bhishma Dev, who was lying on the bed of arrows. And Bhishma Dev spoke to him for, how many chapters he spoke, the Mahabharata, like this, 2 thick books will form. That much he spoke, Bhishma Dev, lying on the bed of arrows. After that, Yudhishthira Maharaj finally felt a little bit pacified. So this is how the quality of Vaishnava. Although for the duty's sake, they did the war, but they're not for enjoying the results of the war. Oh yes, they died. That's not Vaishnava. He doesn't even like his enemy to be hurt. The Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur appearance there the other day. One of the quotes of Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur is that always desire the highest good for your worst enemy. What kind of a mentality you should have to think like that? Because usually what is the case? Somebody little bit gives me some trouble, finish. Any chance I will get, I will decimate this guy. That's how the feeling is. Next chance I will smash this guy. That's how, Vengeance. But Vaishnavas are not interested in that. Far from it. Desire the highest good for your worst enemy. That means what? He does not have an enemy. Enemy, how he became enemy? He considers him as enemy. But the devotee does not consider the other person as enemy. That is the devotee's behavior. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, you can see his behavior like that. You see? This is very important thing. Very Mahabharata, why it is called fifth Veda? This Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. In fact, it is the crux of Mahabharata. The whole Mahabharata was designed just to drive this message of Bhagavad Gita home. The Vedas are very philosophical. Very philosophical. You need very big scholar to understand Vedas. Not easy. What about the general people, common man and women? They are not so intelligent as the Brahmins who are scholars. How can they be delivered? Therefore, Mahabharata was written in the form of story format. Stories everybody likes. Everybody likes. Who doesn't like stories? So, in the form of stories, the whole Mahabharata came together, and Bhagavad Gita was at the right in the nucleus of the whole Mahabharata. And this Bhagavad Gita is the essence. This Bhagavad Gita is pregnant with messages. The whole Mahabharata. They are simply not some. Just like Prabhupada said, before these two world wars, there were two Vedic world wars, Ramayana and Mahabharata. The difference is that God participated in them. Here, God is not interested. It is their own, it is karma yuddha. It is reactions to their past sinful activities. This World War I and World War II. That yuddha was dharma yuddha. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre. It was to establish the principles of religion, to establish the principle of supremacy of Krishna. Perhaps you know that incident where Bhishma Dev, there was Rajasuya Yajna, and Pandavas and Kauravas, everybody was there, and in that Rajasuya Yajna, always you should elect the most prominent personality in the assembly. And everybody was saying, Bhishma Dev, Bhishma Dev, Bhishma Dev. Not only is he the eldest, but also he is the most qualified. He is the greatest brahmachari. Being a Kshatriya, because usually Brahmins, they remain, Kshatriyas usually never remain brahmachari, because they are very passionate. They have many wives also. There are many histories like that. So Kshatriyas are like that. But he being a Kshatriya, he was a brahmachari whole life. That's why he got his name Bhishma. Bhishma means what? No, Bhishma means horrible. Actually, his name was not Bhishma Dev. His name was Devadatta. So, why he got Bhishma Dev? Because he
did the horrible promise.
Yeah. So his father, Shantanu, he wanted to marry this one fisherwoman who was very, very beautiful. But that fisherwoman was very young. Satyavati. So, he wanted to marry this fisherwoman. Then the fisherman said, no, I am not interested, because you have other Kshatriya wife or something, that wife's son will become the next heir to the throne. He will occupy the throne next. He will become the king after you. I want that if you want to marry my daughter, then you must make sure that her son will become the king next after you. Then Shantanu was very disappointed. No, how can I do that? He cannot do that. Then he left. He came back. Then Bhishma Dev, who was his son, actually, his Shantanu's son, Devadatta and Shantanu and Ganga. Devavrat, sorry, you're right. Devavrat, you're right. So Devavrat, then he came to know about this promise, condition. Oh, my father, okay. Then he went to the fisherman and he said, Who's the conversation?
He says that I'm not going to become the king. I can sacrifice that.
Yes. I will not become the king. Next. Your son will. No, but then your son, next generation, your son will become the king, and my grandson will not become the king. You see how he's thinking? There is one, in Telugu, there is one proverb. You know what is the proverb? Alu ledu, chulu ledu, allud peru Somalingam. Means, this guy, he is thinking, my son-in-law's name must be Somalingam. First of all, he is not married. He is not married, he doesn't have a wife. I don't know, first of all, he will have a daughter or son, or whether he will have children at all. And the daughter's husband's name must be Somalingam. This guy is not married yet. This is how they plan. See, materialists, they are like this, no brains. So he is also thinking like that. Oh, my son will become, or my daughter's son will become. No, but your son will become next. My grandson's sons will not. Say in this way, will argue. Bhishma says, okay, I will not marry. Okay? I will not marry. So then, Satyavati, brought, and then marriage was done. Then the father found out. How did you do this? And he said, no, I vowed not to marry. Then he was reeling. Oh, Bhishma Pratigna. What is such a horrible vow? Because for a Grihastha, to remain as a Brahmachari is a horrible vow. For them it's like unthinkable. What is this? This is horrible. What is this? What you have done? I think there is another story. Those stories. The Bhagavatam. You know the story? Daksha Prajapati? Daksha Prajapati, what happened? Prajapati means Prajapati. Praja means population. They were the sons of Lord Brahma. They were supposed to, in the beginning of creation, they were supposed to populate the universe by bringing forth generations of species. So, one of the sons of Brahma was Daksha. And Daksha means expert. You know what he was expert in? Sex. He was expert in sex. Of course, he was expert in many other things. Householder life. How to be a perfect householder. So, he produced, because he was expert now, produced 10,000 sons. 10,000. Spiritual power. Sun is not spiritual power. It's just sex only. It's not spiritual. Spiritual means pertaining to spirit. It can be mystic, which is still material. But it is not mystic. It is actually we produce 10,000 sons. No, with. Very much with. He had a wife. Few wives. So he produced 10,000 sons. So he wanted to get them trained spiritually. Yes, they must be perfect grihasthas. So he sent them to Narad Muni. Narad Muni, you are the Devarshi. You are the biggest saint. Please train them. My duty is to populate this universe with population. And the population without religion means you become hell. The whole universe becomes hell. So they must be trained in religious principles. So you please train them. So Narad Muni nicely preached to them. All 10,000 became sannyasis. Everybody, all 10,000 without exception, everybody became sannyasi. Daksha was shivering with anger. What is that? Then Daksha generated another 1,000 sons. Another 1,000. Unfortunately or fortunately, he gave them again to Narad. This time, he please train them, but warning you, don't do the same thing again. Narad nicely preached to them about everything religious. 1,000 all became sannyasis. 11,000 sons gone. All sannyasis. No one wanted to marry. Daksha was furious. He was shouting at Narad. What kind of a sadhu are you? You think you are doing big service by doing this? You do not know how much responsibilities we have. What do you have? You simply preach and make everybody sannyasi. Who will run the world? Who will run this universe? We grihasthas run the universe. We are better than you sannyasis. We grihasthas. Because we can manage spiritual and material affairs also. You can only manage spiritual, you cannot manage material. You simply take them out. Ask them to escape material life. We are the ones who, fulfill everything. We are greater than this is how this talk. This is how it became offensive. So again, being Daksha, he produced 100 but daughters. Narad Muni did not have to do anything with them. He did not even go near them to do whatever you want. Women, no? Brahmachari, how to go near? Stay away, far away. So in this way, the daughters go married to this Muni, that Muni, and then in this way the population grows. So, point is that the materialists, they are always thinking in this way. How always calculating. And if their material situation is the same, Shantanu, Bhishmadev's father, Bhishma is horrible. What a horrible vow you have taken. What is horrible about it? Sex love is horrible actually. Let us take out. People think this is the biggest platform of happiness. There are Tattvavit samskar, 10 kinds of purificatory processes in one's life. First to start with Garbhadhan samskar. Before even conception, before even intercourse, the husband wife, they take permission from the Guru and seek the blessings of Vaishnavas so that they may have a good son, good child. So that is Garbhadhan samskar. So before even conception there is prayers. You see? So then starts, and then once pregnant, then 7th month there is this thing, and then once the baby is born, then there is Jatakarma, then there is Namkaran, then there is Annaprashan, so many. And then finally Upanayan, which is the most important actually. Then after that marriage, after that, until funeral last. But now, all the 9 are forgotten. Marriage is the big event in one's life. The main thing in life. Actually, that is the gateway to hell. That they will worship. That they will worship. Marriage, oh, congratulations. What congratulations, you're going to hell. I'm not saying anything. But we should understand this. Because attachment is so strong. Why the Shastra speaks so strong? You see how the Shastra speaks. It's not my words, please don't get offended. This is Shastra that is speaking like this, See, even though one may be a householder, one should understand this fact that this is not a platform where I can be happy and permanent. It's not permanent. And it's not happy platform. It is actually a miserable platform. So we should think of how to come out of this. Panchashordham manam vraja, that's why it is said. At 50, one should already be thinking of leaving the family. Not that until 80, 90, what is it? Golden Jubilee, Platinum Jubilee, going on and on and on, Titanium Jubilee. What is that? Then Yamaraj also will give Golden Jubilee term in the hell. Platinum Jubilee, Titanium, Uranium Jubilee, whatever. What is this? So, the Prahlad Maharaj is speaking, you see. Yan maithunad grihamedi sukham hi tuchham kandoyanena karayor eva dukkha dukkham tripyanti neha kripana bahu dukkha bhaja kandutivan manasijam vishaheta dhira. Don't get offended by the strong words of Shastra, because as they know in Hindi they say, Sachai kadwa hota hai. The truth is always bitter. But we should take that bitter pill. That will be helpful for us. For the time being it will be bitter, but in the end it will be nectar. But if you take the, yes, nice Prabhu. Like, one Prabhupada was invited to this one patron of Hare Krishna movement, so life member, in India. So India family is usually a little pious, So they invited Sadhu Prabhupada ji, please come today to our house and we will serve you. So Prabhupada came with his Western disciples and all sannyasis, So one by one he began to introduce Swamiji, my name is so-and-so, this is my wife, this is my son, this is my son-in-law, this is my daughter, daughter-in-law, this is their grandson. And he introduced everybody. we'll just please be seated and we will bring. Then when they all went to do the preparations, the meal and everything, Prabhupada whispered to his sannyasi disciples, "This is my sex life." You see how because the man was introducing, "This is my mother, this is my mother, this is my father, this is my wife, this is my children, this is my daughter-in-law, this is my grandson." Then Prabhupada said, "This is my sex life." That is what actually it is. Honestly telling you, even my father, when we were young, I think about 9 or 10 years old, he drew up a chart, big chart. He bought this chart and he started writing the names because he had record of our family for 10 generations prior, 10 or 11 generations. So because we, my father, my grandfather, great grandfather, like this, 11 generations we had record. So he wanted to make this beautiful family tree and frame it up and put in the house. What is that chart all about? Sex life. Record of sex. It's all it is.
If you think like that, there is no way that you can actually take a birth. You still need in physical format to get that.
So therefore Krishna says, see, it is not that, if we stop, then the chance for people to come into this world will be stopped. First of all, this world is not a good chance to come into this world. First of all. Second thing is that, yes, even if one goes into this platform, one has to be responsible. That's why Krishna says, you see, not this verse. No. See? 7:11. Very easy to remember. 7:11. Balam balavatam chaham kamaraga vivarjitam dharma viruddho bhuteshu kamosmi bharatarshava. I am the strength of the strong, devoid of passion and desire. I am sex life which is not contrary to religious principles, O Lord of the Bharatas. So, sex life is not denied, but under very restricted conditions, which is not contrary to religious principles. That means, within marriage, to procreate children and to make them Krishna conscious. In this way one can do it. Then it is not condemned. But, otherwise, so it is said, even hogs and dogs do it. They also have children. So what is the difference? So these are very bitter words to swallow actually. But don't be discouraged. Because this is something we need to hear. To understand the position. It is best not to get into it. Especially for brahmacharya. See? So, but those who get into it, they have to, not that the whole life, they will come out of it also. And Krishna will also arrange, if one is sincere, Krishna will also arrange how to come out. We can see in the case of Sundar Gopal Prabhu, 50 years of age, just like that, his wife passed away. And then he was free to preach. Not to offend, but you see, Prabhu himself said like that. Now, if that would not have happened, I would not have thought of preaching even, traveling and preaching. No wife will allow the husband to go here and there, going on. No, it will not happen. So, even you see, Prabhupada himself, his wife did not cooperate with him, so he had to leave her. And because of that, we are all sitting here, we are discussing Bhagavad Gita today. So, these kind of so-called unfortunate events in the family are great blessings, especially when the devotees know how to take it rightly. I will show you one nice verse.
Same goes with Ramakrishna Paramahansa also.
Don't talk about him. Don't talk about him. He is not even a saint. You may think of him something else, but according to us, according to Shastra, he is not even a saint, first of all. What he did, what is his contribution, first of all? Is he a devotee of Krishna? You know what he did? He went to the, He was staying in the Kalibadi. And then one day he said, today I'm Muslim, I will eat cow. That priest got angry and said, if I have tolerated enough of your nonsense, now if you're going to do this, you're not going to stay here, please get out. I mean, this one incident. He is portrayed, and he and his disciple are portrayed as big sadhus. Not at all the case. You should actually know what Vivekananda was totally confused about who is God. You should see his conversation between his letter exchange between him and I don't know who that the person was he was writing to, but his letters are documented, translated from Bengali to English, and they are there. You can read them. He was totally he did not know what was God, and he called Vyasadeva as madman. Vivekananda. He called is Vyasa a madman? Because he said he had a reasoning, about Varnashram, something he was telling about this. And Vishnu being avatar, something he was mentioning. I have that thing, that whole record. I have long time since I saw it. So his words were like this. So actually, they are portrayed as big saints, but they are not. See, we have to understand, therefore, from a pure devotee who is coming in an authorized parampara system. See, these people don't have parampara. They masquerade as saints and gurus and yogis. Big titles they give to themselves, but they are not. Their message and Krishna's Bhagavad Gita message are not in sync. They are not coherent. They are saying something else, Krishna is saying something else. See? Actually, you will be surprised if I tell you this. You know what Prabhupada said about Ramakrishna? He was actually a sex maniac. He became impotent, which is why he could not produce a child. Then he worshipped his wife as mother, Sarada Devi. This is the actual history. Anyway, I don't want to discuss with him in the Bhagavad Gita class. Kadapatyam varam manye. This is spoken by King Anga Maharaj. This is actually father of Vena, who was an absolute demon. But he was a saint. His son became a big demon. This verse is very instructional. Kadapatyam varam manye sadapatyat sucham padat nirvidyeta grihan martyo yat klesha nivaha griha. It's very hard to think like this, It takes a lot of fortitude to think like this. Then the king thought, a bad son is better than a good son because a good son creates an attachment for home, whereas a bad son does not. A bad son creates a hellish home from which an intelligent man naturally becomes very easily detached. See how he is seen. We think, what is this? I am praying to Krishna and he is not doing anything. My family is in a mess. Family in a mess means it's a great benediction. Don't think it is a... If one is spiritually advanced, he can see that. It is not that my family is all well and good, let it make it a mess. No, that's not, they're not saying that. One should responsibly carry on. But if by Krishna's arrangement, by will of providence, if something happens untoward, and some way we have to be detached, that is a great blessing. It does not happen to many. But many people, because they're not spiritually strong, they get depressed and they look for another one. Look for another partner. One innings finished, you want to start another innings. Like one person came here and said, Prabhu, my life I had 3 divorces. I have wealth, I have everything. But I never seem to find the right woman. He said like that. Prabhu told him, there is no such thing as right woman. No offense to anybody, but the problem is this. Prabhupada said, man is good, woman is good. Put together they become bad. Sita is good, Ram is good. Put together what happened? Whole life. Of course, the spiritual dimension of their feelings, that is another thing. The Pralamba says. But they are also showing a material side of it. that a man can be as perfect as Ram, woman can be as perfect as Sita. Still the combination will not work. There will be pain, there will be misery. That is the way of this material. We cannot expect happiness. This is a passing cloud. So we cannot expect, there's a match made in heaven and go to hell. After that. What is that? So this is not. So actually everything, as Prahlad Maharaj says, is all hellish only actually. So we should make the best use of a bad bargain. As Prabhupada said, even this body itself is bad. It's an infection on the pure soul. We should not have even this body. This itself is an infection already. And we want to further the infection with all the kind of attachments. Aham mameti, you see what Rishabdev says? Pumsa striya mithuni bhavametam tayormitho hridaya granthi maho ato griha kshetra sutapta vidyaya janasya mohoyam aham mameti. The attraction between male and female is the basic principle of material existence. On the basis of this misconception, which is a misconception, it's not something match made in heaven, it's a misconception. Which ties together the hearts of the male and female, one becomes attracted to his body, home, property, children, relatives and wealth. In this way, one increases life's illusions and thinks in terms of I and mine. Just by this principle of attraction between male and female. It will, male and female, then you have to have a home. To maintain a home, you have to work. Then home, work, and then no children, zero. You must have children, you must maintain status quo with relatives, these friends, and everything. Everything will come. And to manage all that, the entire energy of the life is finished. By the time the entire thing, like many times I have seen, one of my favorite times is to go to a marriage function and to see that time where, where the father of the bride has to officially give the daughter to the son-in-law. At that time, the father starts crying. That was what we wanted to watch always. I want to see my uncle crying. I never saw him crying. We will go there. We and my brothers, we all will, my cousins, we all will go for this only. To see our uncle crying. Because children, we used to cry when the fathers beat us or something, but we never saw adults crying. See? At least when they cry, they don't cry in front of us. So we never saw them crying. So this is one chance where openly they will cry. So this is what we wanted to see. so they give charity to the. It's called Kanya Dana. So that time they cry. So it's it's just mine. Oh, my child is going away. Come on, one day we have to all pass. We have to all separate. It is just a passing cloud. Just like the straws that come together in a river, flowing river, and then go apart. That's it. Or people in the bus stop. There will be so many people coming and going out, one guy take this bus, one guy take that bus, and everybody's gone. For the brief period in the bus stop, if we think that, oh, my dear friend, I have made this friend 5 minutes ago, I cannot leave him, what is this nonsense? Everybody should go on their own buses and get lost, go to do your job. Not that, oh, you're going on that bus, how can I leave you? Nonsense. 5 minutes you have been there. So our life as a soul is eternal, And this few years is like, 5 minutes we are spending there and we are getting so attached to this situation. It's like a bus stop, It's a bus stop. That's all. So we should be always conscious of this eternal reality and not be, carried away by the temporary illusions. Of course, it is easier said than done, but once one gets more and more taste in Krishna consciousness, that's why one must, take these services up seriously. Then, automatically the attraction for material life becomes dwindled. It will dwindle by itself. You don't have to try for it. It will automatically go. And we have to strive for that. And if the attraction for materialistic life is going away, one should not shun it. Oh, sometimes people say, oh, if I take to Krishna consciousness, I cannot work so passionately. That is what is wanted. That's what we are saying. You're working passionate, that's your mistake. You should not be passionate. If you have to carry on work as a matter of duty, yeah. But not that you are investing all your, heart and soul into that work and forgetting the whole aim of life. That is needed. Your material attachment must slacken. This, we're talking about the hard knot. It must be slackened. You have to remove that knot. Actually, removing, you try one. You try. Actually, once this happened to me. Story is only today. Once this happened to me when I was a young boy. Summer holidays in India. So my father, he gave me one tangled piece of thread. It's like absolutely tangled. You know how many twists and turns and knots, and my father, before he went to work, he just passed that to me and said, this is a test of patience. By the time I come back, this thread should be in one single strand without any knots. So I took up the challenge. I was trying and trying. Mother was calling for lunch. I said, please wait. I was trying. Okay, at least make some headway before I eat lunch, at least some satisfaction. Nothing has happened for 2.5 hours. And then I was, taking out. Then after lunch, I was still taking out. After some time, I got bored and frustrated. I just threw the whole thing in the dustbin. Then, that's it, I gave up. So then father came in the evening. So, how did you fare? I said, threw it in the dustbin. See? Impatient. You're impatient. But then I thought, why waste my time with him? Actually, this is how everybody is. When we try to come away from family life, people will tell, please, get attached to family, marry, go and, have a family. Why? You want me to untangle all the things, is it? I'm throwing the dustbin, I can have peaceful life. Why I should be concerned with untangling this rope? But I don't have the rope itself. No. So, but if you have it, then pray to Krishna, not to take out. It cannot be taken out like that. Cut only, cut. Everything cut. Open, finish. I'm not joking, I'll show you verse. This is a verse, What is this? I'm thinking I'm just throwing in. Bhidyate hridaya granthis, chidyate sarva samsaya, kshiyante chasa karmani, drishtayavatamishvare. Thus the knot in the heart is pierced, and all misgivings are cut to pieces. See the word? They never say unentangled. No, cut. There's no patience. Cut it, finish. It's a nonsense. The chain of fruitive actions is terminated when one sees oneself as one's master. See? So this has to be. That's why what we say in the prayer. Om Ajnana Timirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakya. The prayer to Guru. Om Ajnana Timira Andhasya. Ajnana means knowledge. Ajnana means ignorance. Timira Andhasya, dense darkness. Jnana Anjana, the light of knowledge, with the torchlight of knowledge. Jnana Anjana Shalakya, Chakshur, like a knife, cut open the eyes, make it open. So close our eyes. With the knife, he will forcefully open our eyes. And torchlight of knowledge, he illuminates our life. This is Guru. So there is some force required, Even what to speak. Even Prabhupada himself, when he was in Grihastha life, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur came into his dream and pulled him by the ear. Take sannyas. In the dream. Prabhupada said, I was horrified. How can I leave my family? You see that? Of course, it's Prabhupada, But then he's relating the experience. He's saying, I was horrified. How can I leave? But then, 3 times he came in the dream, not once. 3 times, pulled him by the ear. Please take sannyas now. So, finally, the incident happened where she exchanged some tea biscuits for Bhagavatam. Prabhupada said, okay, asked her, you want tea or you want me? She said, jokingly, I want tea. Okay. He took sannyas. So in this way, Prabhupada took sannyas, and today we are here. See, because of that step. So these are very significant events. They look like, oh, very unfortunate, oh, family separated, family is going to separate anyway, either by death or divorce. So better be, as I said, always better to with dignity you come out, rather than be dragged out of it at the time of death. Shamelessly being dragged out of it. Better than that is to dignified manner come out and become detached while we are in this body. So to get that detachment, we should become attached to Krishna. Then the detachment will take place. If we are not attached to Krishna, we will find it hellish to give up. No, it is not easy. Maya is not easy. Oh, yes, Prabhu, you are right. I think I should take some. Tomorrow I'll pack my bag and go. It is not so easy. It will not happen like that. Maya is so strong. Even if we heard it 1,000,000 times, we will not be able to take the step. Because we are in our comfort zone. Therefore, Kunti Devi said, please give us trouble. Because we want to be in the discomfort zone. Because that's where all the advancement happens. In the comfort zone, one will just slack and one will not make any advancement. So a devotee actually prays for so-called unfortunate events because they are great impetus for spiritual advancement. It's a totally different way of seeing it. They see those unfortunate things as the greatest blessing. Actually, they are not unfortunate. It is our unfortunate position that we see as unfortunate. But when we become enlightened with knowledge, we see, oh, that was the greatest blessing. No? So, that was quite a heavy class. I thought I would speak all this. The verse was something totally different. So, but yeah, the principle is there because it was all family attachment. The whole war happened because of family attachment. So any questions or comments on this verse? Facebook Live. I think everybody would have run away by now. Somebody is there still. Some brave people. Alright, I think there's no questions there. So we'll stop it here. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki, Srila Prabhupada ki.